Good afternoon, everyone. So it's a matter of great privilege and honor to be here at IIT Bhopal. Uh, when I was going to start my graduation, so this was also one of my list. But somehow, fortunately, I got IIT Delhi, so I couldn't come here. But the destiny is so fruitful that it has brought me here in a different way. So I'm grateful to Savita ma'am and all the organizers here to invite me for this session. The topic which has been given to me is something about balancing, the art of balancing. How many of us feel that sometimes we go out of balance? Any of us? Oh, ठीक है, topic ठीक है फिर. It makes sense that we are all on the same page. That despite all the best efforts, despite all the perfections within us, despite having all the good environment, still there are many things which do not fall as per our expectations and we go out of balance. So let's see if we can make some wisdom out of today's session. So before we start, let's have a meditation of gratitude to all the teachers from whom we have learnt, to all the wisdom which we have got from the ancient scriptures. So this prayer is in Sanskrit. Hope you can understand and decide after me. So I'll project it here. Yes. Om Agyan Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Agyan Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So this makes the whole environment more peaceful and more conducive for the knowledge reception and admission inside our hearts. So with this, let's move forward. So I'll start a brief about from my journey. Just like all of you, I also had a lot of dreams and I was looking to have a perfect career. So there have been many days in my life where I were not delved outside my home, reading inside, studying inside my home for maybe several days together to crack IIT Delhi, and somehow I got it. So the idea was that once I get into IIT or maybe get out of IIT, the things will be quite rosy to me. Angels will come near me every now and then. Things will not fall apart. But no, that was not the reality. Things remained the same as were before. The only thing was I had a tag of IIT, nothing beyond that. So this made me forced to look for some alternative means within the life. That there are some unanswered questions in my life which I need to have answers, and that the only academics or maybe only the cultural part or maybe only my professional life was not going to answer those questions. तो कुछ तो alternative देखना पड़ेगा life में कि there is not much satisfaction and inner fulfillment. Fortunately, at that time, I got associated with few people who had that traditional knowledge of ancient wisdom which was lying hidden in our scriptures. And when I got association of those people, and that opened the boundaries, that opened the closed doors, and there was a lot of bliss and happiness and wisdom which I got. So a bit of that I'm trying to share it now, whatever I learned so far. And I also realized that this spiritual knowledge, Many of us are maybe not having very good vibes with the spirituality as such, say, but spirituality is not just religion. There is difference between religion and spirituality. So religion means following certain principles, but spirituality means knowing also why to follow those principles. So rituals in themselves, they are not complete. When rituals are followed by spirit, it becomes spirituality. So spirit means why I need to do that. We all of us must have been doing some religious practices in our homes. कुछ ना कुछ तो करते ही हैं. Whether it be any religion as say, not just Hinduism, any religion. But we have been following certain practices. But point is why I need to do that. Why I need to connect with the divine. So that answer, the answer to that question is spirituality in itself. And I realized that spirituality is not just afterlife. Spirituality does not help just afterlife. हम लोगों को हमेशा ये कहीं ना कहीं माइंड में रहता है कि अरे ये जो स्पिरिचुअलिटी होती है इसमें क्या बताया जाता है, बोले मरने के बाद क्या होगा आपका, कौन से नरक में जाओगे आप. People have been boggling about this thing only. So spirituality is not just about creating fear inside our heart. It is also about, it also helps in how to live this particular life in the most beneficial way and in the most better way in which it is expected to be. So that's what I took hold of this, and I realized that looking far ahead is okay, but अभी क्या मेरे लाइफ में हो रहा है, मुझे उसको फायदा मिल रहा है. Yes, so it was helping me that way कि I'm not looking for too far ahead. अभी मेरे को बहुत सारे फायदे मिल रहे हैं इसमें. So I ventured into this particular field also, which helped my intellectual quotient, my emotional quotient as well. So that was the journey. So before we embark into this journey, let's find out how much you are present in the present. So I'll have few riddles for you. So let's see how you respond to that. Okay, would somebody read that? You have a microphone here, second microphone. Else I'll read for you. You are participating in a race. You overcome the person second in race. What will be your position? Second. This is IIT Bhopal. I thought I'll be amazed over here, but yes, I'm amazed by your collaborative answer. Have you done this before? Yes. You're making it not so interesting now. Anyway. So if you overtake the last position, what will be your position? Very good, second last. Now some of you are my fellow colleagues. How many of you feel that you will be second last if you overcome the last position? You have to be honest now. You just spoken loud. Oh, yes. So for some of you. But my dear friend, this is a fallacical logic. No, this is logical fallacy. You cannot overcome the last position. No? Then what is the meaning of the last then? Okay. Let's move to the next one. So Mary's father has 5 daughters. Nana, Nini, Nini, Nono. What is the 5th one? Mary. Wonderful. So all awake now. A farmer had 17 sheep. All but 9 died. How many are there? A farmer had 17 sheep. All but 9 died. How many are left? 17 are left. How come is possible? How many are for 17 here? This is not done. And you speak so loudly and then you don't raise hands. How many of you are for 17? Do you have refreshments after this? I thought your responses to the answers are linked to those. कि अगर गलत बोल दिया तो वो नहीं मिलेगा. So don't worry about that. Yes. How many are for 17? How many are for 8? 17 थे, 9 चले गए. 8. Okay. Any other response? Yes. 9 is the answer. So A farmer had 17 sheep, all but 9 died. All but 9. So 9 left, rest of them died. So 9 is the answer. Take 2 apples from 3. How many you have? Take 2 apples from 3. How many you have? You have 2, not 1. You have taken 2. Last one. If we had only one match and you enter a cold and dark room where there is an oil heater, an oil lamp and a candle, which one would you light first? Perfect. So it's a perfect match. Done. So makes sense that you are all present here. But point is, why we did this exercise at the first place? Can anybody respond to that? Why we did this exercise in a session for art of balancing? Any guesses, please? सब गुड बना के आए, बोले बोलेंगे नहीं कुछ. Yes. Please, I want you to communicate, to interact, to make it successful. Yes. Why we would have done this exercise? The point is, the more we are multifaceted, the more we are multidimensional in nature, we tend to react, not to respond. And these answers, they demanded not a reaction, they demanded a response. So if we are not present here, if we are not focused our mind and asked our mind to balance over here in the present, then we'll be tending to react, not just respond. And that's why our answers become hayward. The questions are pretty simple, but our answers make it more complicated because we are not present in the present. So idea is to have a focus on it. Okay, so let's have okay, before we delve into it, yeah, this is what I wanted to say, that if the mind is in so many places, it's very difficult to do a perfect balance. Okay, so I want all of you to stand for a while and do this exercise for me. This is not a yoga session at all. Don't tell your director that we have done a yoga over here. This is just to bring to a point. So you have to do this asana. So faculty members are spared. You can just have a pleasure looking at your students, how well they balance themselves. So you have to make this pose. So there are two conditions. If you have become out of balance, you have to sit down. You can take your seats. If you become out of balance, just even a little out of balance, you can sit down. I know you are a lot smarter than me. You are taking help of the piche wala desk, the aage wala desk. I can see through it. That's why nobody is falling down. It has never happened in the session so far that the entire audience is standing for such a long time. The better part is you know how to take support. So we value that, but be honest with yourself. The moment you get out of balance, please have your seat. Okay, we have still few very good yoga practitioners here. Now, the next exercise for all of you, you have to keep standing like this. Now what you have to do, you have to close down your eyes. Please close down your eyes. Please do not take support. And if you become out of balance or you open your eyes, please sit down. Please feel free to sit down if you open your eyes or you become out of balance. हाँ बैठ जाओ. If you open your eyes or if you become out of balance, please sit down. Yes, yes. Okay, so let's give a big hand of applause for those who are still standing. You are opening your eyes and still standing. This is not done. Ah, everyone is clapping and you got unfocused. That appreciation was undigestible. Okay, so I think we have still very nice munis over here who can do tapasya for next 36,000 years. Just like this. ठीक है, please be seated. Thank you very much for this. Yeah, again. Now, I would again ask why you did this exercise. What was the reasoning behind it? What conclusion we can draw from this? This maybe you can answer, at least those who are standing. How you are able to manage standing in this particular pose for such a long time? Yes, please. Concentration power. So you had some divine concentration power which appeared from somewhere and then? Yeah. Then how could you manage it?
Has been developed in the due course of time for the last 1.5 or 2 years.
What's your name?
Sushant.
Sushant. So Sushant was saying that he had that concentration power. He could concentrate for a longer period of time. He got an edge over others. Okay. Anyone else? Yeah. Thank you. Anyone else? Yeah. Yeah. It's a way of balancing. But how you could balance? Why somebody was able to balance? Why somebody was not able to balance? Or is it just related to just the body? What is required to balance? At least for this pose. Huh? Many of those who were looking around, they fell down. How many of you were there like this? Who were just looking around others and they fell down. Was that true? Was that an observation? Okay. So what does that tell us? If you are looking around, you fell down. That means you are unable to focus. The point was, if you are able to focus on a single point, then you could do it longer. Is that a conclusion? If you are able to focus on a point, you can do it much longer than others. But dear friends, that's a point which I would like to bring here. You need to have your North Star. You need to have your focus, your goal. If you are focusing on that goal, then it would be highly, or maybe it will be very difficult for the conditions or maybe the people to make you imbalance if you are focusing on the goal. Now the second part of this exercise was I also asked you to close your eyes. Now can you relate that observation with the point which you are discussing? What happened when you closed the eyes? Many more of you fell down. Why so? Generally closing the eyes brings you concentration, na? But here, when you close the eyes, you fell down. Why so? Bataiye. So the first part was that you need to focus on your North Star, you need to focus on your goal. But when you close down the eyes, you again became inattentive. So constant checking is required to keep ourselves balanced in our life. If we become inattentive to few aspects of our life, then those aspects became the cause of our imbalance in our life. So attention is the key. Now, I would like to know what all things you like to balance. What all things we like to balance in our life? या सब मस्त चल रहा है एकदम? Are there any things you want to balance in your life? Why are you here for? in NIT Bhopal? Yes, why are you here? Primarily for studies. So is study on your list to be balanced? Yes? Okay. So studies is one part. What other things you would like to balance? Hmm? Sports, okay. Co-curricular activities. Or maybe once you cross your college, once you be in your more of your maybe family life and all, what all things you like to manage? Workload. What else? Time you would like to manage, certainly. Thanks for making us remember that. Time has to be managed. Relationships have to be managed. Family has to be managed. Kids have to be managed. Health has to be managed. Yes, my dear friends, health has to be managed. और क्या manage करना है? Wealth also has to be managed. So many wealth managers are there nowadays. So that also has to be managed. So many things. That's why we need balancing. If there is only one thing, why you are bothered about balancing? When there are so many things to be done, and you have limited time, limited potential, and limited prospects, then that balancing becomes a very powerful tool. So as we can excel in either few or all of them. So many things need to be balanced. I think you have chalked out almost all of them here. Diet needs to be balanced. Why you need to balance your diet? जो अच्छा लगता है खा लो, और जो अच्छा लगता है खाने से मजा मिलता है, you become happy. So why diet needs to be balanced? उन चीजों में खुशियां हैं जो खाते हैं आप, होती है खुशियां. Okay, what's your favorite dish, ma'am? Yeah. Pav Bhaji. What your name? Huh? Madhushri. By the way, why you laughed? Is Pav Bhaji something out of this world? Or you don't like Pav Bhaji? She likes it. Okay. So Pav Bhaji, Madhushri likes Pav Bhaji. So her birthday is coming soon. We all would like to offer Pav Bhaji to her. But the point is, all of us individually will offer Pav Bhaji to us and she has to eat it. How much pleasure she will get? Will she be very blissful? Madam will offer Pav Bhaji to her. I'll also offer Pav Bhaji to her. Sir will also offer Pav Bhaji to her. She will be very much happy that she is being remembered. The talk happened maybe 2 months back. She is being remembered after 2 months and that Pav Bhaji is being offered to her. तो 3 बार पाव भाजी खा ली, ओहो, अंदर तो लड्डू फूट गए, बोले पागल हो गए लोग, मुझे ही खिलाई जा रहे. अब now the second line people they also came, Madhushri, we remember that you love pav bhaji, so please have pav bhaji from us also. अब 10 प्लेट पाव भाजी है. अब कितनी खुशियां मिलेगी? अगर चीजों में खुशियां हैं तो ज्यादा चीजों में ज्यादा खुशी होनी चाहिए. अब 10 प्लेट पाव भाजी खा भी ली मधुश्री ने, बोले प्यार से लाए हैं लोग, आप इनको भगा नहीं सकते, वापस खाना पड़ेगा. somehow she had that. अब उसके बाद थर्ड रो वाले आगे, मधुश्री पाव भाजी. Now you'll ask Madhushri, what is your favorite food? बोले everything else in the world except. तो अगर चीजों में खुशियां हैं तो ज्यादा चीजों में ज्यादा खुशियां होनी चाहिए. But this equation does not hold true. So similarly, diet, I wish to have something, I like something, but I cannot have it indiscriminately for long. So diet has to be managed. And that's what Gita also says. There's a very nice verse in Gita. See, again, whenever we talk of spirituality, people say that this is something which we do not relate with. But this is what I have learned, my friends. Everything connects. Everything which is written in those ancient scriptures, they are for us only. So it is mentioned, yukta hara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu. Your eating habits and your entertainment habits both have to be regulated. This is what balancing means. So diet has to be regulated. So this is also one of them. Now, Maslow, have you heard of Maslow? A famous sociologist. So he has given this principle, the hierarchy of needs. We all have some needs, isn't it? Everyone, each one of us. They may be different for each other, but we all carry these needs in different proportions. The first and foremost is physiological needs. Roti, kapda, makan. And we all need that. That's why probably we are here. Or maybe our parents send it over here to all of us so that we stand on our foot and we earn and we have our own homes, own family, we can run that. So that is required. That is a physiological need. So clothing, having kids. So these are all physiological needs. So is having kids a physiological need? Someone can say it's a biological need, but it is also a physiological need. Why do we need to have our own children? Yes. Why do people have children? कुछ ज्यादा पूछ लिया क्या आपके लेवल से? Why do people have children? बुढ़ापे का सहारा. हम लोग बनेंगे बुढ़ापे का सहारा अपने माँ बाप का? Have we become the support for them? Not at all. At least our generation is not so. Maybe few of us. I salute to those people, but not many of us. Then what is the other reason why people have children? Yeah? वंश को आगे बढ़ाने का. But my dear friends, both of these needs can be fulfilled by having a kid of someone else. किसी और का बच्चा आप घर में ले आओ, उसको पालने लग जाओ, क्या है? बुढ़ापे का सहारा. किसी और का बच्चा घर में ले आओ, बोले हमारा वंश आगे बढ़ाएगा. So why do you need to have your own children then? Yes. Can you think of that? Why do we need to have our own children? It's difficult to answer. When I was also asked, I couldn't answer that. So let me tell you. Many times, there is a need to have our own creation. And that's a very burning need. किसी और ने असाइनमेंट बनाया है, बट कॉपी करने में मार्क्स तो आ जाएंगे मगर मजा नहीं है. मजा किसमें है? खुद से करूंगा ना. एक्सपेरिमेंट आप कर रहे हैं, किसी और को कॉपी करके मजा नहीं यार. नंबर आ जाएंगे बट खुद से करके देखूंगा. जला दूंगा है ना, केमिस्ट्री का एक्सपेरिमेंट करते करते आग लगा दूंगा, मगर खुद से करके देखूंगा. That is a burning desire inside us. I want to have. Similarly, we want to have kids because I want to have that love. I want to exchange that love with my kids, which I'll not relish with someone else's kid. बहुत सारे बच्चे घर में आते हैं ना, या those who are married, they know it better. So हमारे बच्चों के दोस्त भी घर में आते हैं. But that kind of love does not get manifested over there, which we have with our own kids. That's nature. So that's also a physiological need to have kids. And when kids are there, you need to balance them also. You have family, you have to balance them. And for family, you have to earn. And then you have to balance your office. And for office, you need to study. And you need to study. And you need to balance your teachers. And you need to balance your college. So this is an essential need. So this is the foundation, physiological needs. Then beyond that, we have needs for our safety, for our security. We need to have employment to balance, to manage these physical and physiological needs. So employment is required. So that needs to be balanced. That's a need for us. The resources, health, property. तो छत भी चाहिए ऊपर. So That's my need. That's my safety need. Then beyond that, आपके पास डिग्री भी आ गई, आपके पास जॉब भी आ गई, तो पढ़ाई हो गई, नौकरी हो गई, अब क्या चाहिए? तो छोकरी चाहिए अब. So I need to get married. Why? I need to express my love with someone. Then I need to have a family. So to love someone and to be loved by someone, these are our basic needs. So they fall under love and belonging. We have our social responsibility, not just with our partner, not just with our children. Now we have entire families. So we have our social attachments with them, social networking with them. So that also is our need. कब तक संसार से कटे हुए रह लोगे आप? We are all social animals. So we give love, we take love. So love and belonging is our need. अब शादी भी हो गई, बच्चे भी हो गए. Then what else is required? We also have a need so that we can contribute to someone's life. मेरी लाइफ तो बन गई यार, अब मुझे दूसरों का जीवन बदलना है. So that is our need for self-esteem, where whatever you have taken from the society, you try to give it back. What your teachers are doing. Now they've learned, now they're giving it back to the society. Many times they are doing over timings, and they're doing practicals with all of you, making you learn. They're giving you special timings. What is this? This is esteem. Esteem does not mean I just want glory. People should appreciate. Esteem also means I want to contribute. I want to give it back. I want to see others growing more than what I have grown. So this is a need for self-esteem, a need for self-respect. But everything does not end it here. We have physiological needs, we have safety needs, we have need for love and belongings, we have need for self-respect, and then Maslow tells we also have a need for self-actualization, for self-realization. And dear friends, here comes the role of spirituality. Spirituality deals not just with this body. All those four needs which are lying down, they deal with this body. But self-actualization deals with what I am. And I'm not this body, I am the spirit soul lying inside this body. हम लोग कपड़ा पहनते हैं, हम लोग कपड़ा नहीं बन जाते हैं. Now, we wear clothes. I'm not a cloth. Similarly, this body is a cloth. Gita says, Dehino asmin yatha dehe komaram yavanam jara tatha dehantar prapti dhiras tatra namuyati. So this body is a cloth. Just like you change clothes, you don't become a cloth. Similarly, we take bodies, we don't become a body. I am different than this body. Just like body has some desires, I, who is a soul, that also has some desires. What is the desire of this body? These are the desires of the body, the bottom four. The physiological need is a need of the body. भूख किसको लगती है? खाने, शरीर को लगती है. बीमार कौन होता है? शरीर होता है. प्यार किसको चाहिए? शरीर को चाहिए. So these are the physiological needs of body. Safety किसको चाहिए? शरीर को चाहिए. आत्मा को तो कोई सिक्योरिटी चाहिए नहीं होती है. You know why? बोले वो तो आत्मा है, भूत आत्मा है, वो डरा देगी सबको. No, that is not that आत्मा. Why आत्मा does not need any security? कितने लोगों ने गीता पढ़ी? पहले आप ये बताइए. हाथ खड़ा कीजिए. कितने लोगों ने गीता पढ़ी है? पढ़ी है या पढ़ी है? वो बोले शेल्फ में पढ़ी है, ना दीवान में पढ़ी है, सालों साल से पढ़ी है. तो पढ़ी है तो उसको खोलिए, पढ़िए. A book is meant to be read. And by the way, Gita is a worshipable book. It is said that God, the song of God, the message of God, everything is same. The temple of God, it is same as good as God. The way we worship God, in the same way, the message of God has to be worshipped. In the same way, the place of God has to be worshipped. In the same way, the temple of God has to be worshipped. Or anything connected to God has to be worshipped. So that means Gita comes from the mouth of God. It's a song of God. So that also has to be worshipped. So how will you worship Gita? अगरबत्ती दिखा के, ना दीपक दिखा के गीता को पूजा करेंगे. How will you worship Gita? By studying it. So my dear friends, that has to be studied. It is not to be read. It has to be studied. It is a universal book. Universal means applicable to everyone. It's a scientific book. Scientific means it has rationale behind it. It has logic behind it. So that Gita says that this soul cannot be cut. It cannot be cut into pieces. It cannot be put into fire. Which shloka is that in Gita? I'm forgetting that. नैनम चिंदन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनम दहति पावका न चैनम क्लेदयन्तापो न शोषति मारुत. इसको सुखाया नहीं जा सकता, इसको काटा नहीं जा सकता, इसको जलाया नहीं जा सकता. So that means soul cannot be made to death. Soul cannot be made non-existent. तो डर कहाँ लगता है? जहां पे खत्म हो जा सके ना. तो body is it can be degradable, but soul is ever existing. तो इसलिए सोल की नीड नहीं है सेफ्टी की. ये किसकी नीड है? बॉडी की नीड. सो ऑल दिस फोर थिंग्स दे आर नीड ऑफ द बॉडी एंड द सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइजेशन दैट इज द नीड ऑफ द सोल. सो हाउ डू यू डिफाइन सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइजेशन? कैसे डिफाइन करेंगे इसको? यस, लग तो ऐसे रहा आप सब लोग आत्म साक्षात्कारी लोग हैं. बोले ऊपर हम तो जी बातों से, संसार से. यस, व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइजेशन? एनीवन प्लीज? यू कैन ट्राई. मीनिंग ऑफ सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइजेशन. यस.
By being aware of the soul that exists.
Okay. So self exploration means asking some questions to myself. Why am I here? Why am I here? In this material world, मैं क्यों आया हूँ? Why I does not get love and fulfillment which I want? What will happen to me beyond my departure, beyond my death? So these are very important questions, and the answers, getting answer to that is self-actualization. So primarily it means understanding our deepest self, knowing why I'm here, and getting inner fulfillment. So realizing our full potential, that is called self-actualization. जो हम हैं वो जान ली तो सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइजेशन हो, सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन हो गया. अब देखिए, देयर इज अ व्हील ऑफ नॉलेज. उसमें बताया गया देयर इज अ स्मॉल पार्ट ऑफ इट विच यू नो ना. नॉलेज इज टू वास्ट. उसका एक पार्ट है जिसको जो आपको पता है, एंड देयर इज अनदर स्मॉल पार्ट विच यू नो यू डोंट नो, एंड देयर इज रेस्ट ऑफ इट यू डोंट नो यू डोंट नो. समझ पा रहे हैं आप? स्मॉल पार्ट है कि मेरे को पता है भाई, वेरी आई एम वेरी श्योर, आई एम गारंटीड कि ये मेरे को पता है. पेपर देखते हैं ना, पता लग जाता कितना आता कितना नहीं लग जाता. तो पेपर का आंसर ना, पेपर के मार्क्स देने के लिए मेरे को टीचर की आवश्यकता नहीं है. मुझे पता बोले 20 नंबर से ऊपर नहीं आने वाले, अभी कर लो हनुमान चालीसा जो करनी है. नहीं, सो आई नो व्हाट आई नो, and I also know what I don't know, but these are just small part of it. There is much more part which I don't know. So knowing even that which I don't know, that is self actualization. So that means there is too much potential for all of us which we don't know. आपको याद होगा जब रामायण आप लोग देखते थे तो एक समुद्र पार करना था, है ना? कितना बड़ा समुद्र था वो? 100 योजना, है ना? वो माइल में आप कन्वर्ट कर लेना उसको, कितना बड़ा. बट इट्स टू वास्ट. बेसिकली फ्रॉम द लास्ट एंड ऑफ इंडिया ना, रामेश्वरम से श्रीलंका तक, दैट मच ब्रिज हैज टू बी क्रिएटेड. इतना बड़ा वो जंप मारना है. नाउ देयर आर सो मेनी वानर सेना पीपल ओवर देयर. तो जामवंत भी है, सुग्रीव भी है, अंगद भी है. क्या बोले वो लोग? तो जामवंत बोले अरे मैं तो बूढ़ा हो चला. मैं कूद एक बार मार सकता हूं, वापस नहीं आ सकता, मुझे वहीं रुकना पड़ेगा। somebody से अरे मैं तो 80 योजन ही कूद पाऊंगा, 100 योजन नहीं जा पाऊंगा। फिर किसी ने याद कराया, बोले वो कहाँ है, हनुमान, उसको बुलाओ, हनुमान नोस, ही इज वेरी पावरफुल। अब जब हनुमान जी को बुलाया वहां पे, हनुमान जी बोला भैया मैं कहाँ जाऊंगा, मैं छोटा बच्चा आपके सामने, आप बड़े बड़े वानर है ना, बड़ी शक्तियां आपके पास, आई डोंट नो एनीथिंग। तब जाके क्या किया जामवंत ने, ही मेड हिम रियलाइज व्हाट्स योर पावर। तो आप वायुपुत्र हैं, तो आप आंजनेय हैं, यू आर नॉट अ स्मॉल किड, you had the power of even eating that entire sun, but somehow because of your mischiefs in your childhood you have been forgotten, क्या भूल गए आप उन शक्तियों को। but now we are making you realize that you had so much power, you can cross millions of oceans like this just by your one jump. what is this small ocean? तो तब हनुमान जी को अपनी शक्ति याद आई, that is called self actualization. Self realization, knowing our potential, knowing our capabilities, that is self actualization. So once we have that tendency, that capability, then balancing becomes very much easy. We know that we have this much capability, this I can do, this I cannot do. So our distinctions will become very clear कि मुझे क्या, मैं क्या कर पाऊंगा, क्या नहीं कर पाऊंगा, वो भी मुझे पता है. And then balancing becomes much more easy. Now question is, why Maslow presented this as a pyramid? There are five needs: physiological, then safety, love and belongings, esteem, and finally self-actualization. अब मैस्लो ने इनको एक पिरामिड के रूप में क्यों प्रस्तुत किया? या somewhat close, एक दूसरे को सपोर्ट करता है. What else? Anyone else would like to try? Why it has been put as pyramid? Yeah, again quite close, but not what I'm looking for. Yes? Yeah, final goal is self-actualization, but why it has been put as pyramid? 5 चीजें अलग अलग लिख सकते थे. Why it has been put as pyramid? We have to go step by step. Yes, again quite close. On the basis of priority. Okay, that's done. But why it has he can number it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But why it has put as pyramid? Yes. वो agreed. Your self-regulation is number 1. He could have put it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But why it has put as pyramid? Okay, let me answer. Why? Because everything rests onto other. Everything is linked to each other. So all these 4, they act as foundation for the top one. And that's why there is a need of balancing all this. One cannot say, I am going on a trip for self-actualization. It has to go through this foundation only. आप कहीं पे भी जाओ, सांस तो लोगे, पानी तो पियोगे, खाना तो खाओगे. So that is physiological needs are required. Safety needs are required. Loving needs are required. You want to contribute, that need is also required. But going through all this, we have to come to the state of self-actualization. So though self-actualization is our ultimate goal, but it has to be built upon the foundation of the rest 4. So balancing becomes inevitable. बिना बैलेंसिंग के हम वहां पे पहुंच नहीं पाएंगे किसी भी सूरत में. So Bhagavad Gita, which is an ancient wisdom text, so it has a very classical interaction between 2 people primarily. That is Krishna and Arjuna. And the entire Bhagavad Gita is in the form of question and answer. Arjuna is putting a question Krishna is answering that. Let me have a glass of water. So Arjuna was in a state of doubt and confusion. क्या प्रॉब्लम थी अर्जुना के सामने? बोले ये मेरे गुरुजन हैं, मेरे परिजन हैं, मेरे फैमिली, मेरे फ्रेंड्स, इनके साथ युद्ध करने को बोल रहे हो अर्जुन कृष्ण आप? हाउ कैन यू डू दिस? अरे पाप लगेगा मुझे, मैं नरक चला जाऊंगा, इन लोगों का क्या होगा, इनके बच्चे बेचारे अनाथ हो जाएंगे. सो दिस वाज द कंफ्यूजन ऑफ अर्जुना. तो जैसे अर्जुन की वो कंफ्यूजन थी, ऐसी हम लोग भी हमेशा कंफ्यूजन में रहते हैं. क्या करें क्या ना करें, कैसी मुश्किल. हाय, we don't know what to do, what not to do. Many times we are in confusion. Our clarity of thought is not there. Our focus is not there. And Arjuna had pressing questions to Krishna. So what? There is a concept which has been given in Bhagavad Gita, which is known as the three modes of material nature. How many of you have heard this before? Modes of material nature. So that means a novel concept for all of you. So Krishna says that there are three different modes which are acting on all of us. Mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. And what they would do, these three things do, they engulf us with their energies. So all of us are surrounded by different energies. So all of us carry these three energies but in different proportion. Sattvagun, Rajogun, Tamogun. ये सुना होगा आपने ना? So this is nothing but goodness, passion and ignorance. So passion and ignorance, they are two extremes. Do you understand? Passionate mind become very aggressive, too much anger, too much noise, too much hankering for something. This is a passionate mind. And what is an ignorant mind? Ignorant mind is बोली यहाँ पे आग लगी हो, लगने दो ना, दुनिया जाए भाड़ में, हमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं, हम तो सो रहे हैं जी घोड़े बेच के. So that is an ignorant mind. उसको दीन दुनिया से कुछ लेना देना नहीं. So these are two extremes. And what Sattvagun does, Sattvagun balances these two natures, these two energies. तो कहीं पे पैशन ज्यादा है, थोड़ा सा सत्वगुण डाल दो तो थोड़ा मॉडरेट हो जाएगा. इग्नोरेंस ज्यादा है, हल्का सा सत्वगुण डाल दो, मॉडरेट हो जाएगा. तो दिस इज व्हाट सत्व डज. सो too much hankering is passionate nature, and too much laziness, madness, craziness, that is ignorant nature. And do not believe, whatever we come across, they are also under these three modes. And the more we associate with that particular mode, we ingest that particular mode. Just like food. Food is also in these three different categories. Food is in the mode of goodness also. Food in the mode of passion. Food is in the mode of ignorance. Can you cite some items which are in the mode of passion? Some food items? Yes. बड़ा तीखा खाना, मसाले वाला खाना. Yes. वो खड़े ना गोलगप्पे चाट के काउंटर पे, बोले भैया मस्त वाला लगा रहा है एकदम तीखे वाला. वो खिला खिला के थक गया, आप बोला भैया क्या खिलाए, एकदम बोरिंग, पूरा मजा नहीं आता, पैसे नहीं देंगे तुम्हें. अब मतलब पूरे शरीर के ना 9 होल से आवाजें आ रही है वहां पे, उसके बाद भी मान नहीं रहे. तो दैट इज पैशनेट नेचर. टू मच स्पाइसी. देन फूड इन द मोड ऑफ इग्नोरेंस. Eating stale food, बहुत बासी खाना, maybe eating too much of non-vegetarian food. So these are mode of ignorance. Food in the mode of ignorance. What is the food in the mode of goodness? Eating fresh food, freshly prepared, some fruits. So which carries not much too spicy. So these are the food of mode of goodness. Similarly, sometimes we have music also in these three different modes. है ना? Just like some slow, soft, classical music. So mode of goodness. Some beats wala, ting tadak 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 tadak, है ना? Mode of passion. And to witness the music in the mode of ignorance, go there in the bar, night 2 p.m. Sorry, 2 a.m. Something very different, which none of us have heard of. No lyrics, no beat, no rag, no alap, no alankar. So, totally in the mode of ignorance. So, we have music, we have food, we have environment in these three different modes. So, the more we associate with a particular mode, the more we ingest that particular mode. And we become like that. किसी को बोलते हैं बड़ा रजोगुण में है. रजोगुण में मतलब रजोगुण के बहुत सारे मोड्स को उसने इकट्ठा किया, थोड़ा सा सतोगुण, थोड़ा सा तमोगुण है. So now, in order to have a balancing power, what is more required inside us? That is sattva, mode of goodness. The more one carries mode of goodness, the easier it becomes for all of us to balance different walks of life. Okay. So now we come to the last part of our talk, which is to have a more practical tips how to balance life. And here I'm sharing some 5 habits of people who are able to balance life. And these 5 habits work on the foundation principle of increasing our sattva, increasing our mode of goodness. So let's come to the first of it. The first one, go inside before you go outside. What does this mean by going inside before we go outside? Nowadays, we don't get bored. Why? बोर महसूस नहीं होता ना आजकल. ये प्रॉब्लम पहले हुआ करती थी बोर्डम की, मतलब यार बोर ही हो गया यार, कुछ काम ही नहीं करने को. Now we don't get bored. Why? We have the atomic bomb with us. We carry that mobile every time with us. We don't feel bored. घर वाले बात नहीं कर रहे, चिंता क्या है, मेरे पास है ना, अपना घर है. बेस्ट फ्रेंड बात नहीं कर रहा, तू जा यार, तो मुझे पता है धोखा देगा, असली फ्रेंड है मेरे पास. So we don't feel bored. उंगलियां चला चला के बेचारा पैर भी बोलता, बोले इतने कदम मैं भी नहीं चला आज तक जितने तूने उंगलियां चला रही इस फोन पे. So we don't get bored. आज से 50 साल पहले people used to get bored. But point is, not getting bored is a real problem in our life. Not getting bored is a real problem in our life. क्यों? क्योंकि जब भी हम बोर नहीं होते तब we tend to waste our time just in cluttering, just doing some nonsense, just doing things which are not intended to do, which are nowhere in our list of priorities which we want to balance. We ended up wasting our time, energy, resources, health, everything onto those things which we didn't want to do at the first place. क्यों? बोले बोर नहीं हो रहा मुझे, मैं बोर नहीं हो सकता, कोई दुनिया में ताकत नहीं है जो मुझे बोर कर ले, बोर होने दूंगा मैं अपने आप को. अच्छा, now you remember those times when people used to get bored. क्या करते थे वो लोग? जब बोर हुआ करते थे? लेट मी आस्क यू अ क्वेश्चन, आर यू गेटिंग बोर्ड नाउ? थैंक यू। ओके, तो वो लोग क्या किया करते थे उस समय जब वो लोग बोर नहीं होते थे, जब बोर होते थे, सॉरी, क्या करते थे? यस? तो आप लोगों को पता नहीं होगा क्योंकि आपके जीवन में वो समय आया नहीं कभी बोर होने का। मैडम को पता है ना? मैं मिल्टन, क्या किया करते थे जब लोग बोर होते थे? गाना गुनगुनाते थे। कई बार अपना गाना भी निकल जाता था ना, समथिंग न्यू, समथिंग क्रिएटिव। सो व्हेन we used to get bored, people used to get time to contemplate, to think out of the box, to create something new. That was an outcome of boredom. So my dear friends, boredom is a great blessing. Boredom used to create so much of consequential outcomes, beneficial outcomes those times. So boredom is great. Or I should say boredom was great. Now it does not exist at all. So what we used to do when we get bored? We used to go inside before we go outside. We used to internalize ourselves. कभी आपने शेर को चलते हुए देखा है? बोले अभी शेर है जी, जब हम चलते हैं तो शेरों की तरह चलते हैं, राजाओं की तरह। तभी अपने आप को भूल जाइए, आप शेर हैं, चीता है, जो भी है। अभी वो वाला शेर जिससे सबको डर लगता है, वो वाला शेर जब चलते हुए देखा आपने, कैसे चलता है वो? सो इट गोज लाइक दैट, ना, वेरी impressive walk, but then that lion stops for a while, and that lion looks back and stays like that, and then it moves forward. So this is a special alarming practice of lion, which is called Singhavalokana. Singhavalokana means looking back like a lion. So far, I may not be at the zenith of my career. Is that true? अभी तो मुझे बहुत कुछ करना है ना, पढ़ाई भी करनी है, पास भी होना है ना, जॉब भी लगवानी है, बहुत कुछ करना है मुझे। बट अभी मैं देखूं, so still I am not at a bad position. I have achieved so much. I have got into this prestigious campus, which many of the other people, they are not able to do so. So I need to look back and reflect, क्या क्या किया मैंने, what all good things I have done, how I achieved them, and what all improvements are to be made inside me. I have to look them also. I have to correct them also. So this is called analysis, self-analysis, reflecting back. Yeah. So we need to look inside. We need to go inside before we go outside. So this is the first principle of cultivating sattva. How do you do it? How do you do it? This is a graph of time spent with family. This is the graph of time spent with partner. Time spent with children. And the time spent alone. What stays with you? How much time you are spending with yourself? Rest all, they're going down eventually, finally. What stays with me? How much time I'm spending with myself. So I need to cherish that. If I'm existing, that means I have a purpose to do. Every day, our newspaper is full with so much of filth. The entire news is someone going here, someone going there. But everyone is going there. Means can be different, isn't it? कोई बॉम्ब ब्लास्ट से उड़ा, कोई ट्रेन में उड़ा, कोई डीटीसी की बस में गया ना. Means are different, but people are leaving bodies. but I'm still existing. That means there is a purpose why I'm still having those airs in my body, those pran vayus are in my body. So then reflecting back, why am I here? What is my purpose? What all I have achieved? What all I need to correct? So this is going inside. This is very much required to cultivate sattva. Nahi to what will happen when people grow old? When already people have left them, then what will you be doing? So we need to have that habit of solitude also. Being with people and being within inside also. Spending time with us. So spend 1 hour in solitude. A practice which will help us bringing sattva in our life. It should not be too less, it should not be too much. If it is too less, then it will not have impact. And if it is too much, then also you will be going in depression. बोले मैं मिलता नहीं किसी से, बोले सेशन दिस, क्यों सेशन सुना था जी आपने? Going inside. अब हम अंदर ही चले गए, अब अपने रूम में ही रहते हैं, अब हम क्लास में भी नहीं जाते हैं, हम अपने में रहते हैं. No, this need to not to be done, but at least some part of our day should be structured in such a way that we spend time with us. How it can be done? So I have some formula which our teachers have given: 15, 15, 15, 15, 4 times 15. So what you can do? So every this a quarter of 15 minutes. No. So for 15 minutes you can do some movement, some exercises, some breathing exercises, something for your body. That is also going inside. Maybe part of that you can have some mantra meditation, some mantra meditation also. A part of it you can invest in reading. My dear friends, wisdom is very much important for all of us, at least for young budding minds like all of you. So spend some time in reading some scriptural studies, and then reflecting back. The last part of it is reflecting back. What all you have learned from that and how you are going to apply that into your life. So this 1 hour, if it is in the morning time, it will be the best. If you can spend some time going inside as per this formula. Second habit is placing important things over easy things. So generally we do 4 things. Those which are important, those which are easy, those which are demanded by others. पढ़ाई क्यों कर रहे हैं बोले मम्मी पापा ने बोला था. So that also you might have to do, though you may not like it, but it is being demanded by others. And those which bring appreciation. क्या बनोगे बोले मैं म्यूजिशियन बनूंगा. क्यों बोले वो जो तालियों की गड़गड़ाहट आती है ना उसके बाद ओ हो मजा आ जाता मुझे. So that brings appreciation to you. So you may cultivate. Why co-curricular activities? It brings appreciation. Though it brings some fulfillment, at the same time appreciation also. But point is, we end up doing the rest 3, the bottom 3. And we always keep on procrastinating the important one. And that is how our life becomes imbalanced. If it is important, the definition of important means it has to be done. Maslow has given another time matrix. Those things which are important and those things which are urgent. So it makes 4 quadrants. Important and urgent, not important and urgent, not urgent and important, not urgent, not important. And most of our time goes in not important, not urgent. So we become so vulnerable in this matrix of time. And time is the ultimate killer. Time is the most important force. बोलते ना समय बड़ा बलवान. And when the time goes, Chanakya Pandit says, आयुष्य शनैकोपि स्वर्ण कोटिपि न लभ्यते. 18th of October, 5 p.m. 21 seconds. Now if that time has gone, you cannot buy that even a single second by putting millions of asharfiyan together. The time which has gone, that has gone. It is so valuable. You cannot bring back that time. But we mistreat this time so much, ending up in this quadrant. So what we need to do is, we have to place important things over easy things. So this will help us balance our life by bringing more sattva. One very important habit. This can be cultivated by knowing that time carries energy and location carries memory. What does that mean? Time carries, location carries. I told the other way around. Time carries memory, location carries energy. Time carries memory. So what does that mean? We have so many things to do in our life. But if you start doing those things in a structured fashion, in a repeatable fashion, then that becomes your memory. I am doing this thing every day in a consistent manner. Then your body, your mind, your conscience is aligned to that, and it will become productive. This is what many successful people do. They keep on doing the same things at the same time every day, because time carries memory. So we need to structure our life in that way. ये नहीं कि जो मन में आया वो कर लिया. तो जो करे मन की वो बने मंकी. तो बंदर नहीं बनना है हमें. डाल डाल पात पात. This mind has to be subordinated. This mind has to be regulated. कि मन तेरी बहुत सुन ली मैंने ना, 16 साल 15 साल तेरी तो सुन रहा हूँ. But now I'll go by my intelligence. I'll structure my time. I'll prioritize things, and I'll place important things at the top in my life. And location carries energy. So certain activities which are done in a particular environment, then they yield the best results, best outcomes. If you study in library or you study in a sports stadium, where you are going to have more focus, obviously library, because that carries energy. Location carries energy. So those vibrations, they help you to move forward for the activity which you intend to do. So placing important things at the right time, at the right place. This is the principle which will help us to balance. So yeah, we're going to wind up in last 2 minutes. Fourth, feedback is the breakfast of champions. The misfortune is, many of us, we don't have mentors. We do not have guides which will take us along to the path of success. Or many times they are there, they are existing, but we are not ready to hold their hands. So we remain miserable. Do you have mobile with you? Please take out your mobile. I will not ask you to donate it, neither I will ask you to throw it away. It will remain your property, but please bring it out. Yes. So what you have to do, you put it in your right hand and take it up. Yes. Somebody can take pictures of this. Put it in your right hand and keep it up. And keep it here till the time the guard comes and throws you out. तो 15-20 मिनट बाद आ जाएगा ना गार्ड, उसको भी जाना है घर. Can you do it? कुछ का तो अभी गिर गया भैया, हमसे नहीं होता ये. But now what you do? Alternative way, put your mobile down. One should keep up, one should keep down. Put your mobile down on your table. So few of you keep it up, few of you put it down on the table. Now with your right hand, support the mobile which you already have, which your colleague is having. Put a hand onto the hand of it. Support the hand of that hand. Yes, that's the spirit. That's what I wanted to have. So this can be done for maybe weeks together. Isn't it? Have you got the lesson here? Yeah, put it down. We don't have that support. We don't have that power. But if somebody supports us, we can do wondrous activity which is unimaginable, which we cannot do by ourselves. So feedback. So many times our friends, they give us support, but we also need support of those people who are much beyond than us. And once we start taking their support, what will they do? What will they give us? They will give us feedbacks. And many times these feedbacks are very critical in nature. And that's why we don't want to have teachers, we don't want to have gurus, we don't want to have mentors in our life because they criticize us. इसलिए बोला जाता है कि ऐसे लोगों के साथ हमेशा रहें जो आपको गाली देते हैं, क्योंकि एक दिन तो आप रियलाइज करेंगे गाली खाने वाले बने क्यों आप. Why that person is criticizing you. So feedback is very much important. Once we have those feedbacks, it becomes easier for us to balance our life. Okay, last one. This is the ultimate habit. I have so many things to balance and have empowered myself to balance those. I've done a lot of hard work, groundwork. I've also have mentors in my life. I'm also doing prioritizing of my time. I'm also internalizing myself. I'm doing everything. But despite that, things are not falling in place. Why? But what I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to perfect 100% of it. Dear friends, we do not want to be perfectionists at all. If we become perfectionists, then we'll become God. And none of us can become God. So we need to get this thing out of our mind that we can become 100% perfect. Even if we do things at 60 to 70 or 80% efficiency, perfection level, then our life is successful. अब देखिए उन लोगों का ना जो चीजें बड़ी परफेक्ट करते हैं, उनकी चीजें तो बड़ी परफेक्ट हो जाती है, और उनका जो बीपी का लेवल है ना वो भी ऊपर नीचे धाए धाए करता रहता है. Because they want to control each and everything. They want to control people. They want to control situations. Everything should be there under their control. But life doesn't go like that. What is in our control? Our stomach, not in our control. Our hairs, not in our control. किस बात के कंट्रोलर हम? Now we are just minute controllers. We make control remote of TV or AC. We may control our mobiles, but not beyond that. That too will fall off someday. So let's have this out of mind that we can become 100% perfect. So we'll try to balance our life as much as possible based on the principles, but some of it have to be left on to our destiny, to the supreme power who is controlling each and everything. So prayers are very much important. Now without prayers, none of our efforts will become complete in themselves. So the person who is guiding us, who is controlling us, if that person remains along with our side, now we'll remain confident and we'll be able to achieve whatever we wanted to. Okay, thank you very much. वही बिठाओगे? I'm looking very audible.
मैं सर ये बहुत कहना चाहूंगा, ऊपर वाले का प्यारा है, आज कुछ खास बात हो गई। ऊपर वाले का प्यारा है, आज कुछ खास बात हो गई। जिनसे मिलने को पल पल मिल जाएंगे, उनसे चलते चलते मुलाकात हो जाएगी। और हम क्वेश्चंस की शुरुआत करेंगे हमारी रिस्पेक्टेड सविता मिसेस मैम से। बहुत अच्छा लगा, जो मेरा ड्रीम था बिजनेस मंच पूरा हो गया, आपके यहाँ आए हमारे बच्चों के लिए। सर मैं फिर कहना सबसे पहले ये बोलना चाहूंगी प्रश्न के पहले कि यदि आप एक बार अपने बच्चों को कह दें कि आप आधा श्लोक भगवद गीता का रोज पढ़े तो कैसा रहेगा, तो वो ज्यादा मेरे ख्याल से ठीक रहेगा। भगवद गीता के बारे में जो आपने मैंने सुना है लेक्चर, तो आप कहेंगे कि बच्चे हमारे पढ़ना शुरू कर देंगे। नंबर दो, जो मेरा प्रश्न था, ये उस प्रश्न को मैंने जब लिखा था तो मुझे नहीं लगता था कि मेरे बच्चों में इतना उत्साह है, रश और महफिल के नोटेशन के बावजूद भी आएगा। एक तरफ बैंड रॉक, एक तरफ आध्यात्म, बच्चों के लिए जोरदार ताली।
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
देखिए, कोई भी चीज आपको पढ़नी है तो उसकी टेक्स्ट बुक पढ़ी जाती है ना। किसी चीज में आपको मास्टरी करनी है, फिजिक्स की पीएचडी करनी है, बोले पढ़ के आ रहा हूँ संस्कृत की किताब पढ़ रहा हूँ मैं, लल्लू लाल ना, तो उठा एच सी वर्मा उठा, तब जाके संस्कृत फिजिक्स आएगी तुझे। जस्ट बाय रीडिंग संस्कृत यू कैनॉट थिंक और यू कैनॉट इमेजिन दैट यू विल लर्न फिजिक्स। सिमिलरली I want to live my life to the fullest. उसमें बोलते हैं ना टिड्डा, टिड्डा नहीं बना रहना चाहता मैं। Small thing I don't want to become. I want to become big, and I want to be happy. The ultimate goal is to become happy, isn't it? People wear branded clothes. Why? People wear nice jewelry. Why? अच्छा, आप लोग कोई झुमका लेके आए ना, especially ladies, what will you do with that? Huh? You buy a earring, what will you do with that? You will put that in your locker so that nobody steals it away. What will you do? बताइए क्या करेंगे? मम्मी को दे देंगे, बोले आप ले लो जी, गिफ्ट हमारी तरफ से, लाए तो हम अपनी तरफ से। What will do? We'll wear it. और पहन के घर में बैठ जाएंगे उसको, बाहर जाएंगे, what will happen that? बाहर जाएंगे, when somebody, people will see it around, will get happiness. So we will flaunt that earring, and by flaunting that earring, we get happiness. By flaunting those branded clothes, finally I want to become happy. That is the bottom line. I want to become happy. मुझे खुश रहना। So all these, although you are technical people, है ना, आप लोग पढ़ाई कर रहे हो, बहुत दिमाग लगा रहे हो, उसमें सब कुछ कर रहे हो। At the end of the day, we want to become happy. But there are some things we do not want to be happy, to remain happy. कुछ चीजें जो हमेशा कुछ ना कुछ परेशानियां करती हैं। What are these? कोई ऐसी चीजें जो हमें कुछ नहीं रहने देती। कुछ भी ऐसी चीजें आती हैं लाइफ में, मगर उनको सॉल्व करने का फंडा क्या है हमारे पास? कौन सा फॉर्मूला अपनाते हैं जब हमारी लाइफ में प्रॉब्लम्स आती हैं? बताइए। इंजीनियर्स बनने वाले हैं ना आप लोग, तो इंजीनियर्स आर सॉल्यूशन प्रोवाइडर्स। तो यू प्रोवाइड अ सॉल्यूशन, विच फॉर्मूला यू विल अप्लाई। अगर आप मान लीजिए जा रहे हैं, आपको किसी ने एक्सीडेंट हो गया कहीं, कौन सा फॉर्मूला अप्लाई करेंगे आप उसमें? ए प्लस बी होल स्क्वायर साइन थीटा कॉस थीटा। आप इंटरव्यू देने गए, आपका सिलेक्शन तो हुआ नहीं, मगर आपका दोस्त था जो निकम्मा था, वाहियात ना, जो कॉलेज भी कभी कभी आता, तो उसका सिलेक्शन हो गया। अब वो जो अंदर पीड़ा उठी ना, जलन की आग उठी, अब उसके लिए कौन सा फॉर्मूला अप्लाई करेंगे आप? न्यूटन लॉ ऑफ ग्रेविटेशन या रिपल्शन? मतलब दूर रहना उससे। सो इज देयर एनी फॉर्मूला फॉर दैट? None of our material studies is going to help those situations. At that time, what will happen? What only will help is how much I am connected to the person who has given me this life. अब वो कनेक्शन जितना स्ट्रॉन्ग होगा ना, ये चीजें आप उतनी आसानी से हैंडल कर लोगे, और अच्छे तरीके से हैंडल कर लोगे, बिकॉज वी आर मोर रैशनल इन नेचर। वी आस्क द लॉजिक्स फॉर इट, वी आस्क द रैशनल फॉर इट, कि क्यों ऐसा मेरे साथ हुआ। जैसे एक कुत्ता आपके घर में आता है, आप उसको रोटी डाल देते हो, अगले दिन आएगा? बोले या तो बटर वाली रोटियां खाते हैं। दूसरे दिन फिर आया, फिर आपने रोटी डाली, तीसरे दिन फिर आया, फिर आपने रोटी डाली, ऐसे आता रहेगा। अब 7वें दिन आपकी लड़ाई हो गई थी घर में, तो आपने धुलत्ती मार दी कुत्ते को, 8वें दिन आएगा? कुछ तो लोहे लोगे कुत्ता। बोले 7 दिन मारा है, 8वें दिन 7 दिन खिलाया, 8वें दिन मारा है, तो एक दिन और आ जाएगा। अब 8वें दिन फिर आपने उसको धुलत्ती मार दी, फिर उसके बाद आएगा? क्या बोलेगा? बोले कुत्ते कहीं के, तेरे जैसे बड़े और कुत्ते हैं यहाँ पे, ना तू नहीं खिलाएगा तो कोई और खिला देगा। सो वो जो कुत्ता है, उसके पास भी रैशनल थिंकिंग है नहीं? तो ये मत सोचिए कि अगर हम रैशनली सोच पाते हैं तो हम बहुत ऊंचे हो गए। इवन दैट एनिमल, दे ऑल्सो हैव रैशनल थिंकिंग। बिल्ली आपका घर में दूध पीने कब आती है? जब मम्मी किचन में होती है, नहीं होती है? कैसे आती है? चुपके से आएगी, धीरे धीरे, और दूध पी के चली जाएगी, पता भी नहीं लगेगा। जब दूध का ढक्कन नीचे गिरता ना, ओ तब आवाज आती है वहां से। सो इज दैट कैट अप्लाइंग ब्रेन? डज शी कैरी इंटेलिजेंस? शी इज। तो कुत्ते बिल्लियों के पास भी इंटेलिजेंस तो है, तो हम इंजीनियर बन गए तो बहुत बड़ी बात क्या है इसमें? बट यस, if our engineering, if our rational thinking is just for doing what animals are doing, then we are no better than animals. That's why scriptures say eating, sleeping, mating and defending. ये 4 चीजें ऐसी हैं जो कॉमन है एनिमल्स में और ह्यूमंस में। वो खाते हैं, हम भी खाते हैं, वो सोते हैं, हम भी सोते हैं, वो रिप्रोड्यूस करते हैं, हम भी करते हैं, वो आगे फ्यूचर की सोचते हैं, हम भी सोचते हैं। तो what is the difference between animals and human beings? तो मेरे एक श्लोक है ना, मेरे पीछे आप दोहराइए। आहार निद्रा भय मैथुनम च सामान्य एतत् पशुभिः नराणाम् धर्मो हि एको अधिको विशेषो धर्मेण हीना पशुभिः समाना। So it says eating, sleeping, mating, defending. These 4 things are common between human beings and animals. What is the difference? Dharmo hi eko adhiko vishesho. This spirituality, this is the only difference between them and ours. Because in spirituality we can ask higher questions. We can ask the purpose of our life. तो वो कुत्ता उस घर आने को तो मना कर देगा, उस घर में नहीं जाएगा जहां पे उसको धुलत्ती पड़ी है, मगर घर वाले से पूछ नहीं पाएगा कि मुझे क्यों मारा यार तूने, मेरी गलती क्या थी, व्हाट रॉन्ग आई हैव डन, That dog cannot ask. But we as human beings, we as rational human beings, we can ask this question, why me? Why me? Why despite all my best efforts, why am I suffering? मैं खुश क्यों नहीं होता हूं यार? क्या नहीं किया मैंने, बताओ? अपने दोस्त के लिए कुछ नहीं किया, सब कुछ किया, अपनी दोस्तिनी के लिए सब कुछ किया, फिर भी why people are not happy with me? क्या करूं मैं ऐसा? So that ये ऐसा मेरे साथ हो क्या रहा है? Why bad things happen to good people? मैंने किसी के साथ कुछ गलत नहीं किया, मेरे साथ ही गलत होता रहता है. So these questions are rational questions to be asked by engineers like you. So that's why we need to have answers for this. जब तक इनका आंसर नहीं मिलेगा, मन हमेशा विचलित रहेगा, परेशान रहेगा. कितना भी अच्छा कर ले, वहां दुखी रहने हमें. जॉब लग जाएगी, वहां पे भी पॉलिटिक्स नजर आएगी. बोले इसकी प्रमोशन होगी यार, इसकी क्यों होगी? ये तो चमचा था बॉस का, हम चमचा बन नहीं पाए, हम तो कड़छी कड़छी रहे भैया. So these questions will keep on bothering us, and the answers to these questions lie in our scriptures. So scriptures help us sharpen our intelligence. हमारी बुद्धि बड़ी शार्प हो जाएगी तो, और फिर इंटेलिजेंस बुद्धि से आप कुछ भी कर सकते हैं, and we can achieve the higher purpose of our life. So that's why madam is suggesting that we all should start reading Bhagavad Gita. और मैडम बता रही है कि भगवत गीता में 700 श्लोक हैं. तो हमें सारे रटने की जरूरत नहीं है, सारे पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं है. हर रोज अगर केवल एक श्लोक का भी पढ़ ले, आवर लाइफ विल बी चेंज्ड. महात्मा गांधी यूज्ड टू से, whenever doubts haunt me, I open Bhagavad Gita and all the answers to all my questions are lying just in front of me. मोदी जी, वो उनको फॉरेन जाना था, जब शुरू में अपनी कैबिनेट में आए थे, प्राइम मिनिस्टर बने थे, तो अलग अलग कंट्रीज में जाना था उनको, तो गिफ्ट लेके जाते हैं ना, डिग्निटीज को देने के लिए, अपने फॉरेन पार्टनर्स को देने के लिए. तो पीएमओ ऑफिस में बोलते हैं कि मुझे भगवद गीता पैक कर दो. तो ऑफिस वाले बोलते अरे सर, ये कोई किताब गिफ्ट देंगे क्या? आप फॉरेन जा रहे हैं, कोई बढ़िया चीज गिफ्ट दो. तो तब प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी बोलते हैं, देयर इज नो बेटर गिफ्ट which I can give to the world, and there is no better gift the entire world can receive from India. That is Bhagavad Gita. Again, clapping for Gita is okay. Clapping for Gita is okay, but with these two hands which you have clapped for Gita, with these two hands you have to open that Gita and read also. That will make it. So one shloka a day. Can you promise me one shloka a day of Bhagavad Gita you can read? Even if you don't have a copy, it is openly available on the web portals. Maybe I can send the link to ma'am, she'll share it to you. It's all freely available. Bhagavad Gita as it is, one shloka a day. Those with the promises, please raise your hand. फोटो खींच रहे हो आप? Okay, done. Thank you very much. पहला कॉलेज है जहां क्वेश्चन के लिए भी तालियां बजती है. तो आपके करिकुलम है क्या ताली बजाना? खुश रहता बंदा. एनीवे दैट्स गुड. सो जोक्स अपार्ट, तो इनका क्वेश्चन है कि कहीं पे बताया गया कि कर्म करो फल की इच्छा मत करो, यही सब कुछ है. कहीं बोलते हैं ज्ञान अर्जित कर लो, ये सब कुछ है। कुछ लोग बोलते हैं भक्ति कर लो, ये सब कुछ है। कुछ लोग बोलते हैं सब कुछ छोड़ दो, ये सब कुछ है। तो छोड़ो घर बार, चलो हरिद्वार। तो करना क्या है? वी आर टू कंफ्यूज्ड व्हाट टू डू एंड व्हाट नॉट टू डू। तो देखिए जो कर्म है ना, दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। कर्म मतलब क्या है? व्हाट इज कर्मा? जो मैंने पहले किया है उसका रिजल्ट मुझे मिल रहा है, मगर जो अब मैं करूंगा दैट विल बिकम माय डेस्टिनी। सो डेस्टिनी इज नथिंग। डेस्टिनी कुछ और नहीं है। डेस्टिनी क्या है? जो मैं प्रेजेंट में कर रहा हूं उसका रिएक्शन इज माय डेस्टिनी। वेरी सिंपल। तो अभी जो मेरे साथ हो रहा है, कैन आई चेंज दैट? जो मेरे साथ अभी हो रहा है, कैन आई चेंज दैट? नो, बिकॉज आई हैव डन माय कर्मा, उसका रिएक्शन मुझे मिल रहा है। बट क्या मैं अपनी डेस्टिनी को चेंज कर सकता हूं? बाय व्हाट? बाय चेंजिंग माय प्रेजेंट एक्शंस। सो माय प्रेजेंट एक्शंस विल बिकम माय फ्यूचर डेस्टिनी। तो अब मुझे क्या करना है, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। अब अगेन पॉइंट इज व्हाट कर्मा आई हैव टू डू। कर्म मुझे करना है, ठीक है, मान लिया, पर कौन सा कर्म करना है? कुछ बोलते हैं कर्म करो कर्म करो। अरे भैया कुछ तो शर्म करो। कौन सा कर्म करो ये तो बता दो। व्हाट कर्मा टू बी डन? देयर इज अ बुचर। व्हाट बुचर डज? कट्स एनिमल्स। वो बुचर बोलता है यही मेरा कर्म है। क्यों? क्योंकि इसको करने से मेरे बच्चों का फीस आता है, वो स्कूल जाते हैं, उनकी वर्दी आती है, तो ये यही मेरा कर्म है। बट वी नो फ्रॉम द पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ऑफ स्क्रिप्चर्स दैट कर्मा इज नॉट अ गुड कर्मा, बिकॉज उसको वो सारा कर्मा वापस लेना पड़ेगा। जितने जानवरों को मारा है उतने जानवरों का रिएक्शन उसको लेना पड़ेगा। सो एवरी कर्मा इज नॉट गुड कर्मा। So we need to know what karma is my dharma. What is my dharma? I need to understand. तो धर्म के अनुसार कर्म करेंगे, मतलब पहले धर्म पता होना चाहिए, and then the reaction will be not very, it will not be against, it will be helping you.